Morning YouTube, West Texas Prepper. Hope everybody's having a great fall out there as the weather's starting to change. Working on some reviews to post later on that I'll be looking at. What I'm looking at is different types of fire starting or fire assistance that you might need in a grid down SHTF emergency type situation. Also looking at some of these items for possible cooking on some emergency stoves, and I'll bring a review on an emergency stove. What I'm going to be looking at is a product from Wise Foods. It's called Wise Fire. This is a treated, I believe it's sawdust. I haven't even opened the package yet, so we'll look at that a little bit later on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to evaluate each one on their own standards. Then I'm going to look at some of the things between some of the items that we'll be looking at here, and cost as well. Another product we'll be looking at is Wet Fire, and comparing it to the others. Another product that we have, these are SBIT fire cubes, solid fire cubes, and so we'll be looking at those. Also have an emergency stove, and looking at the tabs that come with the emergency stove as well. And then another product I found, Weber, or Weber, depending on how you want to say that, if you're German or not. These are lighter cubes, and what they use these for is getting the charcoal chimneys together. And already you can see some of the advantages and disadvantages, and I'll go ahead and address some of that right now. With the Wise Fire, it comes in a 1-cup package. To what degree you can use parts of this, I don't know yet. But the nice thing about this, you can see right there, if I can get that zoomed in. If not, you need to pause the video, that's fine. 25-year shelf life. And it says right there you can use it in cold weather, cooking, emergency. I'll be looking at ease of starting, using a match, using a ferro rod, those different types of way to get things going. Wet Fire, you can see here it comes in an individual package, which I like. I like this. This is flat, easy to store, so we're going to look at some of that. The SBIT fire cubes, they're again single packages. You can break these up and do what you need to do. It has a foil back on it. The stove, they come with 2 packages like this, but the thing is, 12 of them are wrapped together. And so when I was doing some early testing, this is one of the problems that you have, is that what are you going to do with all the tabs once you get them out? And then with the Weber, these really weren't designed for, any type of emergency situation. I think these would be great to have around the house, but you can see they're all individually sealed, but they're in this huge 24-pack bubble wrap. And so we're going to evaluate that. You can see I've already have been testing and using things. I have misplaced the video that I've shot of that, so I'm going to have to go back and either reshoot or hopefully find that on my computer somewhere. I downloaded from my camera and I don't know what I did with it. Because I have such a large family, I'm having to look at buying things in multiples, and I always like having backups and things. These are the stoves. I got a great deal on the stoves. I'll have to go back and look at my prices on that. But this is one of the reviews. What I did is I used this stove right here. I used all the products except for the Wise Fire. I haven't done anything with the Wise Fire yet. But I've used all the products, and I didn't do the Wet Fire. I had those in a storage container and didn't have those, so I still have some testing and evaluation to do on those. But what I did, this is a 1-cup 8-ounce metal pot, and what I did is I set it up on the stove. Cool thing about these stoves is you can collapse them down like that, and it'll hold a smaller pot. And so what I did, I just used straight tap water, cold, and lit one of these and went to boil. And what I did, I tested the SBIT, the tabs that came with the emergency stove, and then also tested the Weber how you want to pronounce that, in the stove, and looked at getting that water to boil, and I'll go over all that. Well, and I also did a side-by-side burn test with the Esbit, the ones that come with the Coghlan's fuel tabs, and then the Weber. I did side-by-side burns on those, and that's the video I'm trying to find, is how long those burn, and I'm probably just going to wind up having to reshoot that. But that's some products that I'm looking at doing some evaluation on, testing. Already, I've used Wetfire before. I had another product that actually came with some Gerber fire starters that I have that are 25 plus years old that are still good. I broke some of them out on a trip recently and still use them, and they're still good. So I know these will give you a good shelf life. These are real good. Stink to high heaven though. I know you can smell them. Okay. They've got some stench to them if you have a lot of them and they're stored. So that's something you'll have to look at too. But that's just one of the videos that I have coming up. So I'll be looking for that here in the next couple of weeks. And what I'll probably do is break them down by single type fire starters and see how we get with that, then go from there. But thanks for watching YouTube. Just give you a little update on some stuff coming up. Thanks a lot. Do what you can with what you have, where you're at.